don't want to know. Nobody wants to know about that. I'm a good girl, I'm a nice girl, I'm a straight A, straight-laced, good daughter, good career girl, and I never stole anybody's boyfriend, and I never ran out on a girlfriend, and I put up with my parents' shit and my brother's shit, and I'm not a girl anyhow, I'm over 40 fucking years old. And I'm good at my job, and I'm great with kids, and I held my mother's hand when she died after 4 years of holding her hand while she was dying, and I speak to my father every day on the telephone, every day, mind you, and what kind of weather do you have on your side of the river, because here it's pretty gray and a bit muggy too. It was supposed to say great artist on my tombstone, but if I died right now, it would say such a good teacher, daughter, friend instead. And what I really want to shout and want in big letters on that grave too is fuck you all. Don't all women feel the same? The only difference is how much we know we feel it, how in touch we are with our fury. We're all furies except the ones who are too damn foolish. And my worry now is that we're brainwashing them from the cradle, and in the end, even the ones who are smart will be too damn foolish. What do I mean? I mean the second graders at Appleton Elementary, sometimes the first graders even, and by the time they get to my classroom, to the third grade, they're well and truly gone. They're full of Lady Gaga and Katy Perry and French manicures and cute outfits, and they care how their hair looks in the third grade. They care more about their hair or their shoes than about galaxies or caterpillars or hieroglyphics. How did all that revolutionary talk of the 70s land us in a place where being female means playing dumb and looking good? Even worse on your tombstone than dutiful daughter is looked good. Everyone used to know that. But we're lost in a world of appearances now. That's why I'm so angry, really. Not because of all the chores and all the making nice and all the beauty of being a woman, or rather being me, because maybe these are the burdens of being human. Really, I'm angry because I've tried so hard to get out of the hall of mirrors, this sham and pretend of the world, or of my world, on the east coast of the United States of America in the first decade of the 21st century. And behind every mirror is another fucking mirror, and down every corridor is another corridor, and the fun house isn't fun anymore, and it isn't even funny. But there doesn't seem to be a door marked exit. At the fair each summer when I was a kid, we visited the fun house with its creepy, grinning plaster face 2 stories high. You walked in through its mouth between its giant teeth along its hot pink tongue. Just from that face, you should have known. It was supposed to be alive, but it was terrifying. The floors buckled or they lurched from side to side, and the walls were crooked, and the rooms were painted to confuse perspective. Lights flashed, horns blared, and the narrow, vibrating hallways lined with fattening mirrors and elongating mirrors and inside-out, upside-down mirrors. Sometimes the ceiling fell or the floor rose, or both happened at once, and I thought I'd be squashed like a bug. The fun house was scarier by far than the haunted house, not least because I was supposed to enjoy it. I just wanted to find the way out. But the doors marked exit led only to further crazy rooms, to endless moving corridors. There was one route through the fun house, relentless to the very end. I finally come to understand that life itself is the fun house. All you want is that door-marked exit, the escape to a place where real life will be, and you can never find it. No. Let me correct that. In recent years, there was a door, there were doors, and I took them, and I believed in them, and I believed for a stretch that I'd managed to get out into reality. And God, the bliss and the terror of that, the intensity of that, it felt so different. Until I suddenly realized I'd been stuck in the fun house all along. I'd been tricked. The door-marked exit hadn't been an exit at all. I'm not crazy. Angry? Yes. Crazy? No. My name is Nora Marie Eldridge, and I'm 42 years old, which is a lot more like middle age than 40 or even 41. Neither old nor young, I'm neither fat nor thin, tall nor short, blonde nor brunette, neither pretty nor plain, quite nice looking in some moments, I think is the consensus, rather like the heroines of Harlequin romances read in quantity in my youth. I am neither married nor divorced, but single, what they used to call a spinster, but don't anymore because it implies that you're dried up, and none of us wants to be that. Until last summer, I taught 3rd grade at Appleton Elementary School in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and maybe I'll go back and do it again, I just don't know. Maybe, instead, I'll set the world on fire. I just might. Be advised that in spite of my foul mouth, I don't swear in front of the children, except once or twice when a rogue shit has emerged, but only sotto voce and only in extremis. If you're thinking, how can such an angry person possibly teach young children, let me assure you that every one of us is capable of rage, and that some of us are prone to it. But that in order to be a good teacher, you must have a modicum of self-control, which I do. I have more than a modicum. I was brought up that way. Second, I'm not an underground woman, harboring resentment for my miseries against the whole world. Or rather, it's not that I'm not in some sense an underground woman. Aren't we all, who have to seed and swerve and step aside, unacknowledged and unadmired and unthanked? Numerous in our 20s and 30s, were positively legion in our 40s and 50s. But the world should understand, if the world gave a shit, that women like us are not underground. No Ralph Ellison basement full of light bulbs for us. no Dostoevskian metaphorical subtella. We're always upstairs. We're not the mad women in the attic. They get lots of play one way or another. We're the quiet woman at the end of the third floor hallway whose trash is always tidy, who smiles brightly in the stairwell with a cheerful greeting, and who from behind closed doors never makes a sound. In our lives of quiet desperation, the woman upstairs is who we are, with or without a goddamn tabby or a pesky lolloping Labrador, and not a soul registers that we are curious. We're completely invisible. I thought it wasn't true, or not true of me, but I've learned I'm no different at all. The question now is how to work it, how to use that invisibility to make it burn. So that's where she